Congratulations to our class of 2019 senior scholars. At this time, those senior scholars wishing to address your classmates, please come to the stage. Our first speaker will be McGinnis.
For the sake of every place I'm sweating right now, let's get this done as quickly as possible. For the first time, I promise I'll attempt to talk as little as possible as well. That being said, I want to talk about the idea of graduation and what is really happening today. Essentially, the graduates are being told a two-part message that we can all learn from. Not good enough, but good job. So to everyone in this room, especially myself, I want to say not good enough. Before you talk about me being a 19-year-old kid who knows nothing, and before you pull out paychecks, record books, and scholarship letters, hear me out. For my peers and I, who are moving on from high school, I think it's safe to say that none of our accomplishments should matter all that much, because we are in all in a position where we can offer much more. There's no piece of advice I can give you, because it's all simple knowledge that we already know. We all know how to be healthier people, we all know what's good in the environment, and we all certainly know that being nicer people help makes life easier. So why don't we do it? Drop the grudges, tip well at restaurants, be better at your job, and be a kind person. Don't do it for recognition, money, because it was written on a pyramid wall millions of years ago. If we're all polite people who work harder, the world will undoubtedly be a better place. Chefs shouldn't talk about yesterday's great meal because there are people starving today. Doctors shouldn't boast about curing one disease when there are 5 more mutations out there. And for us graduates, we shouldn't be priding ourselves about grades, athletic accomplishments, or fine arts achievements because we have put ourselves in positions where we can truly give back to society. If Coach Lesser never told me I was killing football drives, and Mr. Barrows never critiqued my papers and speeches, I wouldn't be half of the person I am today. So I say this to everyone in attendance as inspiration. Not good enough. Today is the beginning, much more than it is the end. Now that I got that off my chest, I need to say something very important. Again, this is to everyone. Good job. We all come from different places, and we're all headed in separate directions. But I can guarantee something about all of us in this room right now. We have made it through the worst time of our lives, so let me say good job. I do not care if you make $1 million. I do not care if you broke records, and I really don't care if you drive a vehicle. What really impresses me is that you made it through the worst day of your life. You have overcome deaths, illnesses, or maybe your worst day is just losing to Ohio State again. I don't know. But in all seriousness, you had the mental fortitude and will to get through the darkest of times. And the odds are high that worst day affects a lot more than 24 hours. Everyone has dealt a different hand in life, but we all have our struggles. And because it's something we want to hear once in a while, I'll say it again. Good job. Not for graduating, not for going off to college, and for others not for having a job or for being a good parent. But good job for getting through the worst of your life and still accomplishing these feats. Personal growth doesn't occur when you get the job or you have that best day. We begin to blossom as people when we stop making excuses, put our heads down, and keep moving forward. Now at this time, it's my honor to thank some special people. Marlette Community Schools, you embody a love-hate relationship, where for one fine moment, thanks for everything. The good memories brought joy, and the bad ones brought lessons. Teachers, secretaries, bus drivers, custodians, my peers, and many other unsung heroes have created an environment that shaped who I am today. Marlette will forever be the best and worst home I've ever had, but nonetheless, still home. Athletic programs have led to the best friendships and moments in the past 4 years. More importantly, everyone associated with the Marlette football program will have a special place in my heart for as long as I live. Although I'd love to address the guys I played with, I do not have the time or tears to do so, so I'll address the parents. Although your sons may use a lot of profanity and seem like mean, immature, troublesome, you fill in the rest, they helped me get through some really tough situations where I didn't know what tomorrow would bring. They won't ever admit it. Because of your parenting and football experiences, they're the most compassionate, caring, and loving young men you'll ever encounter. To the boys, I love you guys. Logan and Nathan. You guys had almost all as in classes as me and helped me so much in school. Not just with homework and tests, but the insults and off-topic discussions give me a lot to look forward to at fairs. I love you both. Next, I need to give a shout out to McGinnis and the Gray families. On a second thought, I'm sorry, you guys are too broad to talk about in public, but I love you all. To my grandparents, Nana, Papa, and Grandma North, you guys simply amaze me. Funny, knowledgeable, and most importantly, outstanding cooks. I love you guys. Hunter, my brother, I was 3 years younger than you, but you always found the time to lug me around and show me a thing or two. You're right, Mom and Dad would not be proud of those things, but nonetheless, I still love you. Chris, my oldest brother, only half brothers and separated by 11 years of age, but no one else is more like me than you are. Thank you for the tacos, being a great role model, and bringing Maddie and Amber into my life. I love you, man. Dad, wow, you're definitely the most impactful person in my life. Being your youngest child of 3, you really perfected the skill of being supportful and letting me fail when I needed it. I don't think you can offer a greater compliment than saying that one of my biggest fears is not being able to be half as good a father as you were to me. I love you, Pops. Lastly, I need to thank the strongest, funniest, most beautiful creature on God's green earth. What's up, Mom? It's no secret to any of my classmates that I'm a mama's boy. You did do all my laundry, you cooked all my master meals, and endured the antics of Dad and us 2 boys. But those things will never compare to the fact that you built confidence, hopes, and dreams, raised 3 high-quality young men, and produced productions like Christmas, birthdays, and sporting events. I know I'm moving off to college, but I promise I'll make more than enough time for you. As Jim McGinnis would say, the best thing about this call is that you do everything for only 1 kiss and 4 little birds. Mom, I love you. I wish you nothing but the best to all the graduates. And as George Strait once said, the last goodbyes are the hardest one to say, but this is where the cowboy rides away. Now please help me welcome Logan March to the podium.
I want to first welcome parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, community members, and the main reason that we are here, the class of 2019. Each of us has done different things in life to get where we are. Different people, such as parents, grandparents, other family, friends, teachers, or coaches, have impacted our lives to help us to become the people that we are today. We could not be who we are or where we are in this life without the wonderful people that are here today. Let's give a round of applause to these people. I will give you 3 different things that I want you to remember as you leave this place that we have called home for the last 17 to 18 years. First, cherish the little moments that you have with those you love. Elementary school, junior high, and high school, as we all know, has flown by. We do not have that much more time left with our families, and the time that we do have, we need to enjoy. Second, don't forget where you started and where your roots began. As I said earlier, we would not be who we are if it were not for the people that have influenced us in positive ways. Remember those people and what they have done to help you to become the men and women that you are today. Third, don't forget that no matter where you go or what you go through, God is there for you, and those that have walked these halls with you for the last 13 years are here for you. My favorite quote is, "I do not know what my future holds, but I know who holds my future." To some of us, the next steps in life might be exciting, and we can't wait to get out of this place, while others have questions about what is next for them, which might make them nervous or scared. The amazing thing is that happens in both of these situations is that God knows each and every one of our steps and what will happen in each of our futures. Each and every one of us will have ups and downs in our life. The awesome thing is that when we do have these times in our lives that are hard, we can choose whether or not we get back up. Another amazing thing is that God will help us get through these times. As we are entering the next phase in each of our lives, I would like to take some time to reflect on some of the great memories that we have had as a class. Over the years, we have had many awesome memories that we will be able to cherish for the rest of our lives. Whether it was the first day of school, field trips, holiday parties, going to each other's houses, going to each other's birthday parties, going to each other's different activities, and then more recently with homecomings, proms, sports, band events, and so on, we have gone through life together. As I wrap up, I want to leave you with 2 things. Do not forget where you have come from and the roots that have begun to sprout in you. The contributions of those in this room that support you have given you a great start. Now it is up to you to decide what the finished product looks like. In closing, I want to leave you with 4 words that my mom has shared with me for the last 13 years as I have headed off to school. Do good, be good. Thank you. Now it's about time for Logan Solgat.
You know, I love me some chicken. I mean, who does not love a good piece of chicken? Close your eyes. Imagine the world without a Kentucky Fried Chicken in their infamous bucket meats. Imagine not being able to bite into a crispy golden brown crust of a fried chicken drumstick. Or a bite of their buttery flaky biscuit. Or a big spoonful of their creamy mashed potatoes and gravy dribbling from the side of your mouth. Open your eyes. The thought of a world without Colonel Sanders chicken would be a world of abomination with protest and civil injustice. But it almost happened. Not the war part, but the chicken part. Before cooking chicken, Colonel Sanders was a railroad laborer until a fight. Studied law to become a lawyer until another fight. Sold insurance until an argument. Started a land company until it went bankrupt. Owned a restaurant until shooting his competitor, although not killing him. And then owned another restaurant until it burned down. Colonel Sanders' famous chicken recipe was rejected 1,000 times before KFC fame. Nowadays, KFC is worth $15 billion. When describing his resiliency, Colonel Sanders stated, "I made a resolve then that I was going to amount to something, if I could, and no hours, nor amount of labor, nor amount of money would deter me from giving the best that there was in me." Like Colonel Sanders, except for the whole chicken recipe being a billionaire part, the class of 2019 had to be resilient and be able to bounce back against roadblocks and obstacles in our lives to be successful throughout our high school endeavors. Whether playing in a sport or achieving high academic honors, whether working a part-time job or just getting out of bed to make it through the school day, life happens all around us and does not slow down. The world forces us into adulthood sooner than we expect. We are all resilient in our own ways, and no one way is the best way depending on our circumstances. During high school, I had to face life's tragedy without warning. Life afterwards has been and never will be the same. But no one would have blamed me for any positive or negative actions that followed. I could not be sitting here today talking to you as a senior scholar. I could have given up on sports, but as Colonel Sanders stated, I would not be giving the best that there was in me. I worried about taking care of myself and not about what others thought of me. So as I wrap up this, I have many people to thank who have helped me get through to where I am today. Thank you to my teachers who taught me subject content, but also how to be a better person. Thank you to my friends and classmates who were there to pick me up when I was down, whose friendships I have and will cherish for the rest of my life. Thank you to the Marlette community who supports and rallies behind every student at Marlette High School. Finally, a huge thank you to my family, especially my mom, who is the most resilient of us all. So, just remember, the world is unfair, and all we can do is prepare the best we can for anything that we may face. As I conclude, I have one question for you. Who's hungry? Next, we welcome Mutch to the stage.
It took me several tries to write this speech. Mr. Kohler himself can attest to that fact. This is definitely not the first draft that I turned in. It just seems so difficult to take everything that's happened in these last 4 years, between the lessons learned, memories made, friends bonded together and enemies separated, and cram it into a 5-minute speech. It just doesn't seem like enough time. 1,460 days of our lives, the last 4 years, is so much to cover. I've made plenty of memories, some bad and some good. The day in honors chemistry when I got my first D on a test was initially a bad one, but eventually was a good learning experience. bonding at BPA States with my two best friends, Marissa and Sydney, who are the two greatest, kindest, and most amazing friends anyone could ask for, was a great one. High school, whether you hated your time here or you loved it, was memorable for all of us. Now, I could stand up here and list my accomplishments, like fulfilling my lifetime dream of being accepted into the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, go blue, or being the only female valedictorian out of 5, but they weren't solely mine. I had so much help along the way from my parents, my teachers, and my friends. But mostly, it was the people that didn't believe in me. The people that were mean to me or belittled me, and the people that momentarily made me forget who I was. Those are the people that I want to thank, and each of you know who you are. Anyone who knows me knows that I love a challenge and can't turn it down. Earlier this year, I even wore coveralls covered in paint and clay for a whole day because a few freshmen in art didn't think I would. So these people really challenged me to be the best me. I had to rise above, and to push myself to the point of my hair falling out from stress, and sometimes forget who I was. But you all showed me that I could be more amazing than I ever thought I could be. And you showed me what kind of person I want to be and what kind I don't. Now before I finish, before I walk out of this gym for the last time as a Marlette student, there's 2 more things I learned from high school that I want to share with you all. Perseverance and the importance of family. Students, I ask that you take a little stroll down memory lane and think back to your first day freshman year, your entrance into high school. I'm sure you were all full of excitement and nerves, but mine was a little different. Like many of you, I didn't want to go, but maybe for a different reason. For the rest of that year, that nervous, scared feeling never really dissipated for me. I was scared that I would be called to the office with a counselor and police officer waiting for me, or I would come home to find my worst fear come true. As most of you know, my mom had stage 4 cancer. No, this isn't meant to be a sob story. It's to tell you all how glad I am that right over there sits my mom, Janet Mutch, and next to her, perseverance and fight and love from my mom like no one else I've ever met or heard about has. The same goes for my dad. He worked so hard and still does, so much so that I wouldn't see him for over a week, just so that he can ensure that there would always be food on our table, clothes in our closets, and medical bills paid. Both of my parents gave my brother and I love and support unconditionally, despite how hard our lives had suddenly become. So a big part of my high school story is learning the importance of family and knowing how strong one person, one family can be. Now, as previously mentioned, I didn't know what to say to you all today. Goodbye didn't really feel right, and neither is don't stop believing and let's get this party started. However, after watching Avengers Endgame, I decided to follow Frigga's, Thor's mom's, advice. I decided to just be me and not who I was supposed to be. The best way for me to do that was to tell you all about how I changed and what I learned in high school, aside from the typical science, history, math, and English. So thank you all for listening today, and thank you for learning who I really am.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you all for coming. Today, I would like to thank the heroes in my life. First, I'd like to thank my family for always supporting me in everything that I do and never letting me forget how much they love me. Next, I'd like to thank my grandparents for being my biggest fans and for all of the life lessons they've taught me. Finally, I'd like to thank my brother for being my best bud, and we've had so many great memories that I would not trade for anything. So at this time, I would like to read you a short story about a young boy. When he was born, he appeared to be like any other little boy, active and curious. But by age 4, when he wasn't talking, his mother became concerned and decided to have him evaluated for speech services. It was recommended he be enrolled in the special education program through the ISD. The testing indicated his cognitive and speech skills were that of a 2.5-year-old. His parents didn't feel he needed more than speech services and approached the speech therapist through the local school district. The therapist there agreed to see the young boy once a week. He made some progress and was enrolled in a preschool program so that perhaps he would learn to better communicate with the other children. His grandmother went with him each and every day to help him with interaction, as it was still very difficult to understand the boy's speech. When he was 5 years old, the Lions Club came to his school to test the children's eyesight. The young boy was unable to pass the vision test. He was referred to an optometrist for yet another evaluation. His left eye had perfect vision, but the right eye was unable to see even the big E on the eye chart. He had a lazy eye. The doctor recommended he wear a contact lens in the right eye. So on his 5th birthday, he began wearing a contact. It was very challenging at first, every morning putting the contact in his little eye, but he was determined, said his mother. As time went on, there was noticeable improvement in his speech, as well as his cognitive and motor skills. It began to make sense why he struggled kicking a soccer ball, catching a baseball, or even reading his letters. His speech therapy continued, and his eye became stronger and began to work with the other eye. Even though he wore a contact, his vision could not be corrected in 2020, but he adapted. He continued to play sports and put a little extra effort into his schoolwork. Today, this boy is graduating top in his senior class, was able to play varsity sports, and will be attending Ferris State University in the fall to go for a degree in actuarial science. As you may have guessed by now, this story was about me. In a way, though, this is all of our stories. We've all had life throw us a curveball, but we've been able to adjust and reach the point we are today. Some of us have faced bigger struggles than others, but we have grown stronger because of them. We have had teachers, friends, family who have inspired us to be the best version of ourselves. A hero is someone who comes in at our lowest point, picks us back up, and takes us to the next chapter of our lives. The high school chapter of our life is coming to a close, but the next chapter is yet to be written. It'll be full of ups and downs, twists and turns, and curveballs coming in every direction. But in the same way we adjusted before, we will be able to pick ourselves back up with the help of the heroes in our lives. And just like the heroes in our lives have been so important to us in helping us persevere, we now have the opportunity to be a hero to someone else. The question is, whose hero will you be? Thank you. Next up is Tim.
Hang in there, guys, we're almost done. Good afternoon, everybody. It is with great honor that I stand in front of you all today, addressing my classmates and everyone who has shaped our young lives. On behalf of the class of 2019, I'd like to start by thanking all of the parents, grandparents, caregivers, and teachers for leading us along this journey. From the simple words of encouragement before a test, the mountains of laundry, rides to and from school events, and even a hug or two, they have been by our sides through it all, and for that, we thank you. From a personal standpoint, I was blessed with a fantastic support system of a family who valued the importance of hard work and guided, encouraged, loved, and motivated me to set challenging goals for myself. They have instilled in me the notion that hard work can and will pay off, and for that, among countless other things, I am forever grateful. So Mom, Dad, Maggie, thank you. I'd like to take a quick moment to appreciate the special people in my life who have made my achievements possible, but there are far too many to thank. Just to name a couple, Mr. Barrows, although your class was one of the hardest I've ever had, I think I have you and you alone to thank for my SAT score. and I finally learned how to appropriately study. Kayla Campbell, you are one of the purest, most kind-hearted people I've ever met, and you taught me to care for others, no matter how good or bad of a day I'm having myself. And finally, Lily, my girlfriend. I have you to thank for teaching me to make life a little more fun, and that it won't hurt to stop and smell a few sunflowers along the way. You see, the great thing about Marlette High is that since it is such a close-knit family of students, each and every person is not just another body, but another opportunity, another teacher with their own unique lesson on how to live your life. So underclassmen, elementary students, everyone here for that matter, I encourage you all to pay attention to those lessons and learn something from everyone around you. Now, like the rest of my classmates, I'm only just about to graduate high school and do not feel qualified to offer life advice. But that isn't going to stop me, so just hear me out. As many of you know, I'm an aspiring veterinarian. I'm a huge fan of animals and feel that they have a lot to teach us as humans. Additionally, I spend a lot of time with animals, especially my dog Max. Side note, I have a golden doodle named Max. If you haven't met her yet, you should really stop on by. She's just like the cutest dog I've ever seen. I've come to the conclusion that we as a generation should strive to live our lives more like that of a dog. Sounds crazy, right? Just hear me out. Dogs are unconditional lovers. Dogs don't care if you're black, Arab, Jewish, or if you have any physical or mental disabilities. They don't care if you have money, if you're good looking, or even if you're smart. They just learn to love you for who you are. Even when things are perfect, even if you neglect them, even if you push them away, they will always come back. So with this short time we have on earth, I encourage you all to love. Secondly, dogs are internally satisfied. You never see a dog obsess about how their tail is too long or their nose is too big. You never see them obsess about how their ears are too floppy. We humans tend to stress over superficial things, and this dissatisfaction has an effect on our mentality. We go and try to cover it up with expensive materialistic things or endless plastic surgeries. And frankly, I think dogs have it right, for they know that that isn't what life is truly about. So imitate your dog and love your unique features. Lastly, dogs are compassionate. Who is most often the first one to come to you when you are crying or upset? Your dog. He is often the first one to be there for you. These small things are the ones that enrich your life. Remember, everyone around you is going through something. Always be there. In my opinion, those who possess these characteristics, or train themselves to possess these characteristics, are the ones who will evolve over their lifetime, and are the ones who will achieve true internal success. They will be the ones who live a happy, satisfied, and accomplished life. So, class of 2019, as I bid you all adieu, I'd like to thank you for the memories you've gifted me along the way, for the lessons each and every one of you has instilled within me. As we go about our lives, I wish you all the greatest of luck in your future endeavors, whatever they may be. With a foundation such as that of the family of Marlette, I am certain you will all succeed in life. And remember, class, through the trials and tribulations, through the success and the joy, and throughout each and every day, I encourage you to model the lives of our canine companions. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, senior scholars. And by the sounds of it, I think we might be taking pictures inside afterwards.